Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Welcome to our
buddy.
show. Will you start talking with me? You do this all. You interrupt me every time I try talking. Great way to start the show, folks. Hi.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You may want to address that yellow light behind you. That's better. No, that was fine. It's just that one. That's all.
We got a lot of fun here on Furness we discuss. Yeah, another little haircut. I did this part. Mom did the rest.
Yeah, it's really showing off your potential bald spots because you're going bald here, right in here.
Yeah.
Yep, you're going to be just like your dad. One bald.
Oh boy, look like I'm doing. But I'm not worried about that. If I look like an idiot, if I look strange, weird, who cares? Tomorrow I'm getting my vaccine. That's all I care about. But we do care about this today. This been a Monday show edition. We couldn't do it yesterday because we had personal issue.
Yeah, we did. But anyway,
but we got.
I'm the producer, and the producer was not doing well yesterday, so we didn't do a show.
Yeah, no kidding. But we got 3 topics like always. We got our wrestling, and our main topic, which is all about TV shows. More about it later on. Let's get down to WWE Hell in a Cell, which is coming away, and WWE Hell in a Cell coming away in about 4 weeks time now.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, why not talk about the best Hell in a Cell matches?
And also what makes it so much fun to watch.
The Hell in a Cell started in 1997. It was created with a pretty much the concept of it was a cage with a roof over it, spanning outside of the ring. The little I can go out of the ring and do stuff, create stuff in there to get the weapons and all that stuff. There's a roof on top. It's big. And the first 2 competitors compete in the match was Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And boy, was that infamous. First one, people say, one of the best. Saw the debut of Kane, who debuted during the match at Bad Blood in Your House.
This is before my time, so I don't know much about it.
Yeah,
Except that it was an amazing match. And the entrance for Kane was fun because when he came roaring in, all you could hear was
Vince McMahon doing commentary going, "That gotta be Kane! That gotta be Kane!" He comes in there, he got a pyro, he got a cool mask, he comes in there, he breaks open the door, you see that you're scared in one sense, he brings his hand and boom, pyro comes.
And having anybody who can intimidate The Undertaker, not good.
And you tombstone his brother, quote brother, and the rest is history.
I have a problem.
What?
My leg.
Uh-oh.
I have restless leg syndrome, and every now and then it acts up on me. Right now, it decided to try to act up on me. Yeah, not good. So if you see me acting like really weird and jumping up and down, that's why.
We have a little fan on so that wind coming from blowing this down.
That's fine. I'm just here.
It's not working really well.
Okay.
But let me go. Then we get to the second infamous Hell in a Cell, the 1998 King of the Ring, Mankind versus The Undertaker.
That's the one where he fell off. I know that one. Anybody who's a real wrestler fan would know this one.
It all started up on top of the cage. Mick Foley on the Mankind. Undertaker, they're fighting on top of the cage, and Undertaker throws Mankind off the top of the cage, rooting down the table. That was planned. But what was not planned was afterward, when Mick Foley got to get back on top of the damn structure. And as there was more fighting, and a chair was involved, the Undertaker chokeslammed Mankind and went through the cage.
Hitting the ring below.
But what the worst part was with the chair that was on top, the cane crashed down, hitting him on the head in the process.
He had a tooth in his nose.
And why are you smiling? According to Jim Ross in the commentary. It was so brutal, and they continued the match.
Oh yeah, and they continued it with weapons. Thumbtacks. Who does this?
Undertaker beat Mankind, but the fact was that even WCW people who watching this are like, "Yep, it's over. There's no way we can beat that."
After the show was done, from what we understand, Superman said to Mankind, "Don't do that again."
we thank you so much for putting your body on the line, but don't ever do that again.
It's amazing he wasn't killed. I swear to God. No wonder the guy is crippled now practically at times.
But there were other ones of all the way. There were other Hell in a Cell matches, minor ones. Then we get to Armageddon that happened. But the big one that we talk about is the 6-way Armageddon Hell in a Cell. 6 of the top superstars of the era compete inside Hell in a Cell. Just so you know, champion was Kurt Angle. He was defending the title again. The Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold Austin, Triple H, and Rikishi. The 6 big stars inside that same structure.
This is huge. I mean, none of these people are tiny, really. And certainly, hell, they're all big stars. And this was one hell of a match.
It was very scary for WWE. The man tried to destroy himself. He didn't want it to happen.
Now, the reason I like the match is because you have the wrestlers in the ring, and you really can't get any interference from the outside. Although, yeah, you can, but you're not supposed to. But it's harder to do that. There's only a couple ways they have to either open the door and get out that way, or do submission or a pinfall.
Oh, wait, my pinfall submission. No escape.
No escape.
No escape.
Okay.
Because we've seen all the time.
Yeah, but even still, I mean, you're doing this, and you're up, and you're being hit up against the cage. This is dangerous.
And 2006, they introduced a bigger cage than the one they would use before.
Yeah, it's even taller.
And then in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, they turned it again, and they made it red. The cage was red.
It's deadly, but it's a lot of fun to watch because you never know what's going to happen.
And
it's also a game changer for the wrestlers inside because you can really get injured in there.
We see, in 2002, referee Tim White referee career ended inside Hell in a Cell. At WrestleMania 32, when Shane McMahon battled The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell, Shane McMahon did the most crazy thing we ever saw at the time. He went after Undertaker on the table. He climbed up on top of the cage and jumped off of it.
Now, this is the taller one.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody's going, don't jump, please don't jump. Oh, God, don't jump.
And he did. Undertaker moved out of the way.
Oh, my God. Geez. The crowd goes wild, of course.
This is over 100,000 people.
Wow. Wrestling fans are sadistic in nature. The more harm that can be done to the other person, the better. The more, the more painful it looks, the better.
I mean, one of the most brutal Hell in a Cell matches in recent history was the 2006 3-on-2 handicap Hell in a Cell match between DX and Big Show, and that was one of the bloodiest. Oh my God! In Toronto, that was incredible. I love it myself. It's a good one. Very good. We see women involved in it. The first one happening in 2016 Hell in a Cell. Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Which main evented. First ever main event for women on a main pay-per-view. And now there have been 3 women's Hell in a Cell matches. All feature Sasha Banks. And including the last one taking place at Hell in a Cell 2020 against Bayley.
Okay, now coming up again, like I say, there is another Hell in a Cell match coming up.
Do
we know who's going to be in this Hell in a Cell yet?
We don't know yet because it's still early, But who knows? We might even see Bobby Lashley. I mean, last year at Telzell, we saw a historic first ever I Quit Hell in a Cell match. We with 2 matches in one.
Yeah.
An I Quit match taking place inside Hell in a Cell. That was Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And that was brutal. Personal and brutal.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot. We got like.
Good. I wonder who that was from. Comment below and let us know who did this, so we know who to thank.
All you know right now is that it was really awesome. Hell in a Cell, the main event. Now, who knows? We might got 2. We might even have 3. I mean, last year we had 3. Who knows how many we're gonna have?
Who knows?
But that was Hell in a Cell. Now time for the main topic.
Now we're on our main topic for the day, and continuing in our way we've been doing the last few weeks, talking about different areas. This time is TV shows. We're talking about the best shows like in comedy, in drama, and reality.
Now, next week we'll do. I said next week we're going to do movie, but after next week we're going to do another separate topic of TV show, late night comedy, because there's so much to talk about late night.
Yeah, there is. So we put down here a little bit about it. Hey, we're cooperate. Damn.
It's the win.
Okay, how's that? That works. I can see. You need to read backwards.
Yeah, but unfortunately the win still.
Yeah, well. Anyway, first is comedy. Now, comedy shows obviously have been around for a long time. I'm turning it off, but it's warm. Okay.
But it's distracting.
Fine. What was I saying? More on here. Don't do that.
Modern flips.
Oh, sure. Okay, going back to comedy. Now we're talking about shows from the 60s and the 70s and present time. I see you put the fan back on again.
Yeah, you can tell a little warm out.
Not as warm as it had been, thank God, though.
Meanwhile, one comedy's been around for a long time. I mean, if we go from the 50s, the 60s, I Love Lucy, all the way up to recently in some of the big sitcoms of today.
I never really got into that one. Well, for one thing, I wasn't really alive or old enough to really watch TV when they came on. But there are a couple of episodes that I have seen that are really hilarious. Is the one where Lucy is dumping grapes? That's a good one. Also, where Lucy and
the vitamin thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And also when Lucy and her whatever her name was, I forgot now.
No.
But they were in a factory.
Oh,
and
yes.
They're having problems, and he goes, "Oh, you're doing well. Okay, speed it up now." Oh my God, it is so funny. But but another one that's also from back then anyway is MASH. Everybody knows MASH.
That was during the 70s. Actually, during the 70s.
Yes,
but Hogan's Hero before that. Hogan's Hero.
Oh. I love Hogan's Hero.
Hogan's Hero was a funny show based on a German, or what is Russia based?
No, it's German.
A German prison camp.
Maybe I can find it better. You can not let me talk once in a while?
Why should I?
I don't know. Anybody want a free son? I go, Jay, don't do that. Okay. My son drives me crazy.
Too late.
The pandemic can't end fast enough for me. So, Hogan's Heroes. Again, like I said, it was filmed in the 70s.
No, 60s.
It was 60s, pardon me. I just woke up from my nap. I'm not awake. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, right.
But it was built around Hogan and his crew being in a Stalag 13, who is a prisoner of war camp. Colonel Clank was the commandant. Sergeant Schultz was the sergeant that they dealt with all the time.
The security.
And that. And the hijinks in this is funny. The only reason the guy who played Schultz, Clink did it really was he didn't want the Germans to look good because he was German in the background. He didn't appreciate what happened. Obviously, didn't like what happened back then. And there's several people who were in the show who actually lived through the real thing, so they didn't want to make him look good. And believe me, they didn't. But it was so it's so funny. And in fact, you can find these episodes of Hogan's Heroes on YouTube. I know because I have some on mine, my channels for me, and I watch it all the time. Absolutely love the show.
One of your episodes, the first episode.
Oh,
The first one, only one black and white is just classic hilariousness. There's a lot of good episodes. Overall, there's several seasons they've done.
And you have recurring characters. Like there's Major Hochstetter. He was part of the can't think of the name right now.
There's other great characters involved in the show. There are other people involved. Richard Dawson played the British war here.
Yeah.
Who's apparently a good magician, apparently.
Yes.
And definitely was very good at impersonation. Definitely used many times.
Yeah, they had the different things. Each one had their own characteristics. Okay, but what got me was some of the lines they said. Sergeant Schultz was famous for saying, "I see nothing. I know nothing." And one of my favorite ones says he sees some stuff going on that he knows he's not supposed to see, and he goes, I didn't see anything. I don't know anything. I didn't even get up this morning.
Yeah. I see nothing. I know nothing. I didn't get up this morning. I know each day. I know nothing. Nothing.
Yes. Hochstetter. His favorite line every time he saw Colonel Clank, Hogan's Heroes, Colonel Hogan, he'd go, "Who is this man?" Because he was always there getting in the way, of course. The show is just so much fun, and I absolutely love it.
Wacky characters.
It went for about 7 seasons.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And but some of the stuff they pulled off. I mean, we're not talking about realistic stuff here, okay?
No way.
Because it would never happen in real life. But boy, they had fun. There was one when they they were going to plant a fake bomb because they wanted them to not look at the stuff they're trying to send out on radar. So I thought, we'll put a fake bomb. That'll distract them. So Hogan goes out there. And he's working on this supposed fake bomb he thinks is fake, only to find out halfway through the fake one was still in the tunnel.
No!
He was working with the real one. That was a good one.
There were other good moments on the great show. Now we can talk about MASH. MASH again, based during war time. I think Korea War.
Yeah, because Hogan Hill was during World War II. Now when we get to MASH, that's during the Korean War.
Yeah, and
the show lasted than the real thing.
Yeah, longer, but it's a big show. I mean, it was a version of the movie, and then they did a show.
This show broke a lot of barriers. It was one of the first shows that actually could show a comedy could have drama.
It was a drama
and serious moments in it.
And it had way serious moments.
And again, you have a whole mixture of different wacky characters in there. There's Radar, who could tell the future, which drove everybody crazy. Couldn't figure out how he could do that. There's also Klinger, who spent the entire show trying to get out of the army by wearing women's clothing until the very last episode when he suddenly met a woman, they got married, and suddenly he's staying in Korea. He's not going home.
Then you got Pierce, and then there was a period of time McIntyre, and then
no, you can't have and you got to remember Frank Burns.
Oh,
Frank Burns was the ultimate religious moron.
The ultimate asshole.
Well, that too. He was definitely an inept surgeon. Drove everybody crazy, especially Hawkeye and his roommates.
And he was also the victim of prank Bye.
Oh man, all the time. And again, that show also has some fun recurring characters. There's you could I mean there's
Flag.
Colonel Flag, who was CIA, I think.
ZIC, but then it was told with the CIA.
Yeah, well, nobody really could figure out what the hell he was. There's an episode where he's there and he's trying to stop a ring of people who were stealing penicillin. So the guy who does that is there. Colonel Flag shows up, lets the guy go, and then makes it look like this guy beat him up by ramming the phone into his head, by throwing things around, and then ramming headfirst into the locker.
And I think you might have done this thing for real.
Oh man! And there was also that other doctor that would come around all the time, the psychiatrist.
Oh, Sigmund Roy?
Yeah.
Freeman, I think.
Friedman, yeah. Sidney Friedman. Sidney Freeman was probably one of the most logical, upstanding characters you could find. And whenever he showed up, it was always an excellent episode.
He's also more relaxing with the other crew and very supportive and not afraid to do something like that.
I know.
I mean, you did well. I remember the episode where Freeman was talking about with Joy Diary.
Yeah.
A letter. And what happened was he was mentioned about the prankster. And
he was the prankster.
The one guy, the prankster, the one Pierce. Was it Hawkeye? No, I can't remember the name. I know.
No,
Honeycutt. Honeycutt, yeah.
Never would picture that, but Honeycutt was the prankster in that one.
And he got Henny for what? Over the air raid tank.
Yes.
Air raid!
Of course, Burns comes running out, air raid, and then jumps into the water. Okay, now that's pretty much all the ones we did in the past. Now there was a pretty more current. There's the Big Bang Theory that just ended recently.
Yeah, that was going on. That was more reason we have. Don't forget I mentioned AFV was a different kind of comedy show. A comedy show where people were
AFV, American Funny Video. That's been around for eons.
1989.
And it's still going strong.
Now it's host Alfonso Ribeiro.
Yeah, they've had 3 hosts all total. And this show, all it is people sending in videos of people or animals or anything else doing stupid things.
Stupid thing, hilarious moment, accident,
crazy stuff, and even some really heartwarming stuff. But it's
in a funny way.
And they all competed to get
$10,000 for first place, $3,000 for second, $3,000 for third, and then you go on to the chance for $100,000, and then on top of that,
they've gone up over the years. But I remember watching that show even before this guy was born.
Yeah, it was hosted by Bob Saget, and then it was hosted by 2 other people. That didn't really last long.
No.
And then hosted by Tom Bergeron, who took that show to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And now Alfonso Ribeiro is hosting about for 5 seasons.
And again, it's good family fun to watch.
You got pranks, you got animal, you got accidents.
Oh, you
job, know, work, field, whatever it is.
One here once from way back was this one video of a cat, and it was sitting by the
on the TV,
and then literally rolled off. Clunk.
I remember on the old one I have seen before is the cat bird. That for ramming speed. Super cat bird. That for ramming speed.
Yeah.
Hit the cat. He flipped over.
So and that Seinfeld, I didn't watch Seinfeld when it was originally on the show on air. I have recently started watching it because it's before my show when I watch in the afternoons. I've always said I don't understand the show. I don't understand why it made it so big. It's a show literally about nothing, and yet for some unknown reason you watch it and you're entertained and you're laughing and you're thinking this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. But for some reason, you keep watching. These people are nuts.
It was a big hit for NBC. And another big hit for NBC was Friends. And Friends, oh my God, that was a big show.
Yeah.
Friends.
I think Friends now would have problems because, unfortunately, of the way the show was. But back then, It wasn't.
Now I have a reunion special now.
That's been talking for a long time.
Well, now it's
I will
official.
be it's official. I'll be amazed when
I have a trailer for it right now.
I'll believe it when I see it.
It is
Because
on.
I've heard about this for a long time.
Well, it is you and a trailer and coming on Crave. Friend reunion. They are brought.
But the one thing I didn't mention about Big Bang Theory, and this one is close to me. The characters on the show, they have never actually said that
Sheldon has Asperger's.
But you watch the show, you know he has it. He went to see a counselor for his Asperger's. The counselor actually said he had a poster on the wall of the Big Bang Theory. And he actually felt that all the main characters had Asperger's in some way. But if you watch Sheldon especially, the growth in him over the years with him, they made it very realistic, his growth in that. And it is absolutely mind-blowing the growth that he had over the years that you can have when you have Asperger's, because if you're with the right people and you
in the autism group we have a poster, and the poster is used that thing he had the friend analyst and stuff on how to be friends.
Yeah,
they use that for it.
But my favorite line though is that they say when people question him, he says, I've been tested.
No, I'm not crazy.
I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested.
Then of course their classic Bazinga. Oh my god.
So that's comedy. Now it's drama.
Oh boy.
Now, we're not going to discuss all of this because there's a lot here. But I am going to mention a few things. I watched The West Wing, and I love a good solid drama. Aaron Sorkin wrote this, and it was extremely well done.
One of the best political dramas you can have, and that's the genre of itself.
Oh yeah, I love it. I wish it would be shown somewhere again, but it did not for some reason. But it was a really good political show, and I actually saw people things during the last U.S. election where they wanted people who were on the West Wing to actually run for president again. We want Jed Biden again because it was good. It was a good drama and a good show, and it showed the goods and the bads side of politics. And that. So and again, you had a stellar cast, top of the line writing.
Yeah, and political dramas are a very important one. I mean, there's several other ones. Madam Secretary is another.
That was another good one.
Was another big one.
That was another one. It was also Designated Survivor. Now that one was unique in a sense because basically it had a setup where everybody was in Congress for a State of the Union address and had the one person who sits out because if anything was to happen, you need to have somebody that left. And unfortunately, something happened and he was designated survivor, so he became president automatically. Now, the premise of the show was good in a sense. It was a good show. But in these times we have right now, I really don't think that kind of show it's a good idea. It's hitting a little close to comfort considering what happened on January 6th.
No kidding. Then there are other.
There's the police dramas.
Police dramas, yeah, my favorite kind. I love the Law and Order franchise, the CSI franchise, Shook a Bone. The different kind of perspective when solving crime and Law and Order. Law and Order, it's far as I'm concerned, the be all end all of crime drama. Series.
And there's also other ones out there now. There's with crime drama.
Chicago franchise has to be one.
Yes, but I was thinking more of the line of shows that are showing more in the courtroom, like Bull, and like there's another one too that was on that had the female judge.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
All right,
yeah, another really good one. And again, it's good because you're seeing it for them. You're seeing it in the court area, and those kind of shows have been around for a long time. I mean, it goes way back to sort of like Murdoch or Murdoch, Law and Order.
Murdoch Mystery with the Canadian one, but again, very good one based on the old time.
Which one?
Murdoch Mystery. Canadian.
Now I'm thinking Murdoch Mysteries, although that is a good one because it's based in Toronto.
Yeah.
Back in the turn of the century, not the like 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah.
But there was another one that had Matlock. That's what I was thinking of. Matlock. That was another good one. And there's Ironside. There was all kinds of them.
Don't forget Hill Street Blues.
Oh yes. Top of the line. This one broke records for having most Emmy nominations and Emmy wins. It was one of the first ones to really have a storyline that would continue on. So you had to watch the show from the beginning right through there to get it in order. And each episode had their own individual stories, but there was also the backstories that went from episode to episode. And this is in New York City. It was an extremely rough neighborhood.
With crime and drugs.
And gangs and you name it. And again, you have some really, really warped characters. Like my favorite one was Animal. He was a detective. He did a lot of things undercover. And he was rough and gruff. It not pass him to bite somebody. Because you hear the captain, no biting. Until his mother would call. Then it was a total opposite. Yes, Ma. Okay, Ma, we'll take care of it. And if he had someone there under arrest, they'd be snickering. He'd growl at them. He growled a lot.
But let's get back to Law and Order franchise. Law and Order franchise was a really great concept. I mean, law. You got the law side. You got where you find a crime. You're trying to figure out who did it. Then it's the order side, where you get the judge and the detective are trying to prove.
Yeah. That's kind of actually Law and Order in a sense. They've taken the two different kind of dramas, the police drama and the court drama, and combining them into one show. And they're separate. The first half, like I say, it's the police. Second half, the court.
But it's so good, and the spin-offs are incredible.
Oh man!
Criminal Intent. SVU, one of the biggest longest running show in history, still going on. No failures, but right now they got a new series. Organized Crime.
I've yet to see that one, but it looks good.
And that, again, it's not a return of a guy who really was on Law and Order SVU. Now he's on this, and it's for more organized crime. And then you go to CSI, which is all about forensic investigation and trying to. Anyway, and I'll tell you, CSI. I don't care if it's CSI, New York, Miami, or the New York one. They're all fantastic in their own unique way. Great group of cast, unbelievable story, and just so good.
Yeah. Then you get into the hospital ones, hospital drama. Again, they've been around forever. One of the earliest ones I remember watching was a show called Emergency. This is long beforehand because I was just a kid. Now, Emergency took place in a fire department, and you see them go out on calls. They also had a paramedic team that went out on calls. They took their victims to this hospital. So now you have the hospital in with that. In his time, it was done by the same person who brought us Alan 12 and Dragnet. So you're talking top quality. And they tried to be as realistic as they could back then. But it went on for quite some time. But there was always an incoming joke is watching when they went a turn, whether that fire truck was the same fire truck or not.
Then going to the other one, in the 90s, they had big one, ER.
Oh, man.
George Clooney, big breakout moment throughout the one. And that went for a while.
A long time.
Now they're different kind of the medical drama.
Yeah, there's also St. Elsewhere. That gave us Howie Mandel. St. Elsewhere. Among other big stars.
And again, we turned up their drama like medical one, Chicago Meds. Your favorite, Grey's Anatomy.
Which I watched the show from I think maybe the fourth season onward. until about last season. I didn't watch it last season, and I'm not watching it this season. One of the main reasons is because I feel a show should end when it's really at its peak, when it's at its the best point. I hate when a show goes on and then ends up losing the
Momentum.
quality and storyline they had. Like Match could have gone on longer than it did, but they all decided that they couldn't come up with any more realistic stories, any other thing to do. It was time to end the show when it was still high. Grey's Anatomy, unfortunately, is not doing that. It's still a good show, but unfortunately, there are hardly any characters left on the show that were from the beginning. Very, very few. And even the ones that I was watching, most of them are now gone. Like, I mean, if I turn around, there's another character leaving the show.
Another great show, not another big show. Actually, ironically, just like Big Bang Theory, really innovative for the autism group area. The Good Doctor,
Yes.
and that getting praised from autism people group, the horror group.
Although
praised.
recently I've noticed that it's starting to um
It's really hard.
it's not really, as far as I'm concerned, it's not really all that realistic anymore. In the first couple of seasons it was, but now it's starting to sound, nah, I don't know about this, whether he would actually do these things or not. Then what do I know?
But again,
It's a good show.
big one. Now we're done with the. There are other type of genre versions of Brown, but let's not talk about that for another time.
Yeah, because I mean, we could do family shows in one shot all by itself.
Look at reality TV. That's been around pretty much in the 90s.
It started, reality shows really started at one point because of writer strike, and they had to have something on the air.
The Real World and the other one, they're like that. They're just, nah. But then comes a show called Big Brother. Big Brother been, oh my God, it's been over 20 years.
Big Brother is all over the world. Now, if you watch the ones from in the European countries, or in Australia, you'll see things you don't see here.
Well, it started in the Netherlands area. I think
like nudity and fun.
I think it started in the Netherlands when Big Brother first started.
I think it did, yes.
And then became the United States. Now, again, the concept of Big Brother, if you don't know, is that 16 people, a group of people, 16 right,
who most of them don't know each other,
who don't know each other,
strangers. They go into this house where there's all kinds of cameras everywhere,
lost from the outside world,
and there's also microphones everywhere, and they have to wear a mic at all times. So, and you basically see them live in this house. You see them; they're cooking meals. They're everything. I mean, you see them in the shower,
But in other dimension, but they're all being where can't win, and I think $500,000 prize, $500,000 And the idea is the lies that are happening, and every week one person goes home, gets evicted. Until we get down.
It is a show that if I was healthy and really mentally strong, I would love to do it. But I'm not. And they have got competitions where you have to be really strong, and you have to have a lot of endurance
and also mentality. And you have to be a good social person.
Oh yeah, and
a lot of
and you got to have a really good memory, because these competitions, they do all these different competitions. What they in that now, it started off when the first year American Big Brother started in the United States. It went on every day. But they found out it wasn't working very well.
But it was very different. But it had a different ending too. I mean, in a very different way of eliminating. And now it's like more better. Now you got the opportunity competition for 8-8 household where the winner become 8-8 gets to nominate 2 people for fiction. Those 2 people, along with the 8-8, or in Canada we don't do that. And 3 other people play for a veto, where winner of the veto gets to eliminate, to take one of the out the block and force the 8-8 to put someone
or leave it alone.
Yep.
And
then someone getting one then the eviction time where all the other one is different to 8-8 nominee, and only an 8 in a tie at 8-8.
The other one vote who goes home. Now this is a game, like I say, it takes a lot of strategy and cunning. And also the fact of the matter is when you're locked up like that, when you have no contact with your family or friends, no contact with at all of the outside world, nothing. You're
It's
totally shut off. And and there's only so much you can do. So you start creating new things to do. Like this last one I watched, it was absolutely hilarious. They had a bingo game where they played, and you had to do weird things like sit in a carton of milk or keg of milk or
You
ice
know
cream.
what?
Weird things. They'll have little, parties and
Yep.
singing
I
and
mean,
dancing.
and,
Weird crap goes on, but it's you have to have a strong mind because a lot of people can't do it.
um, in Canada, we have our own version, which is pretty much a version of the United States. But anyway, in Canada, we do more crazier stuff,
Oh God, yeah,
and our houses look different. Some might say better.
yes. I mean, one year they went in there and they had no food, no nothing. Okay, they had to compete the very first day to get some of this stuff back.
Oh,
They walk in, they're fucking this nice luxury home champagne, and there's nothing. Okay.
Well, unfortunately, I have to go for a second.
Uh-huh.
So,
Good. I can talk for myself for a while. Hallelujah.
yeah, you can call this segment our bonus segment, My Life as I See It.
No, it's not a life as I got on to with that.
Oh, well, have fun with that. By yourself for a little bit.
He's taking a break.
Yeah.
So it's just you and me. Ha ha.
Shut up.
Ha ha ha.
Shut up.
I can tell you all the wonderful secrets about my son.
I watch it.
Yes. Yeah, as far as the television shows are concerned, I like watching a lot of them. I don't find watching that much TV anymore. I've discovered YouTube. Bad thing. YouTube. Because you can there's so much on YouTube, like I say, that's where I find Hogan's Heroes now. And things like that. But yeah. Yeah, about my show. I am going to be coming on after this is done on my own show. And I'm having a really interesting show today. And it's going to be called People versus My Scooter, because I've had some wonderful things happen when I'm on my scooter. So this is all said and done, please continue to watch on here and watch for my show. It's on another channel. It's called My Life as I See It. And there's a link in the bottom on this one that you can get to it. And now, one thing we didn't mention when we were talking drama sense was, and I can do it now quickly because he's not around, is family shows. Most of those shows were in the 70s and 60s, not even 50s. They go back quite a ways. But I'm mostly interested in the ones that I knew. And there was a show called Eight is Enough, which was a fun show about a man who was a widower and meets the other woman. They get married. Now he has 8 kids. That's right, 8, and none of them were twins. It was again a good family show, and the trials and tribulations of this family. He was a writer from a newspaper. He did articles there. Then there was another one called Family. Now that one I didn't watch that much. But again, it's based on a family and their trials and tribulations. There was one that came on a while later called Seventh Heaven. Now this one, again, there was 7 kids, and the trials and tribulations of the couple that there. But the thing is, he was a family minister, and he's coming back. And that was a really good show, and near the end, it kind of got wonky, and unfortunately, the guy who played the minister got in some trouble, so we don't hear much about it anymore. But the 2 oldest ones that I knew was the Waltons, which was based in the mountain areas of the United States during the early 30s. And at the end of every show, you would see the house and everybody going to bed, and all you hear is "Good night, good night, Johnny. Good night, this. Good night, who? Good night," and everybody was saying good night to each other and that. The other one was Little House on the Prairie, and that was on for quite a long time. This one was based on a real life story, a series of books that was written by a girl named Laura Ingalls Wilder. I've always wanted to read the books, never had a chance until he was a baby. Then I read all the books to him in the crib. But again, that one was based very early in the 1800s or 1800s sort of thing out west and pioneering of the old west sort of thing. Again, another really good family show. Now,
Now back to our reality segment.
yes,
Um, Big Brother, and before Big Brother, even before Big Brother, there was a show called Survivor. Survivor is still going on.
Mm.
It was insane.
That one they take a bunch of strangers and they put them out into an area that's in the wilderness and leave them there to survive, which is why I call it Survivor.
With different competition and opportunities, food and different alliances.
Yeah, same idea. Someone get kicked off once a week until they're down to one. Then we have shows like
Don't get Amazing Raid. We do the Raid around the
Oh
world.
yeah, and that one is fun too.
Where whoever's the last plate, we will get out, and until we get to a final plate location, winner wins the big prize.
Now in the U.S. version, they go over the world. In the Canadian version, they do go over the world a bit, but they spend most of the time in Canada, and it's really great because you see, it gives them a chance to explore different parts of Canada and the history of that part. And it's a good show. I enjoy watching it. Then there's the American Ninja Warrior. American Ninja Warrior are a bunch of ordinary people who like doing obstacle courses. These are not ordinary obstacle courses by any means.
These are really tough competition based on doing like parkour style strength, agility, endurance, a lot of mental, a lot of upper body, lower body. It's tough, and the goal is to get to the Mount Midoriyama, which is this whole thing is based on a Japanese version, Japanese thing called Sasuke. I can't remember Sasuke.
But it's actually been fun in one. They support when the people are competing. They all support each other, even though they know they're all trying for the grand prize. They all still support each other. And what I like too is that a lot of them have set up these gyms around the country, and now kids are doing this stuff and getting a lot of exercise.
I get a good amount of spin-off, including a teen version and a junior version. We have kids doing these courses, and it's incredible. See these kids doing it, and now I think the age limit now down to 15. If I'm mistaken, for the American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, I think it is.
And I think because we're going to see a lot more younger athletes.
I think they realize these kids can compete with the older ones, so they might as well put them in there right now.
Well, why not? And they're so fun. It's exciting to watch. In fact, ironically, Casey Wrestling World, Casey Catanzaro, first woman to ever complete, not only go up the world wall, complete the course, complete the final course, is now a professional wrestler working for NXT, WWE NXT, aligning with another great talent.
But I've been watching the show since the beginning. He got me hooked up into it. And in the beginning, it was really hard to find. Now NBC has it, and it's going strong. The new season is starting up May 31st.
So it's literally coming up, like, really.
I can't wait, because it's...
And not only that, it's now following me on air.
And it's also very inspirational, because so many people are in there that have gone through cancer. We've had one couple go through with one person went through with autism.
I mean, you think people who one leg, do
it. So it's really inspirational to hear these stories and see how they're doing.
And it's incredible. Women in the beginning were not doing it good, but all of a sudden now,
now they are.
You can have a women's tournament, no men, all women doing this exact one. It was incredible.
And these women do the same things as the men do. They don't have an easier course. It's the exact same course.
And they're doing better than the men.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same. Okay,
now we're into the Voice and American Idol and those kind of shows. American Idol was the first one to come out like this, and it was
A really great. It originally started Pop Idol in the UK. They started having it now. It came, I think, and the concept was finding that American Idol. The first ever winner was Kelly Clarkson, who's now like super big,
Yeah, and on The Voice.
and the Kelly goes on The Voice.
But you take ordinary people and they come out and they compete and they try to sing it to get a spot into the show. In the beginning, they were showing a lot of the bad ones out there too.
They
and
became
some
known
of them
for that.
were, oh my god! Now they're not showing too many of those. They concentrate more on the really good ones, and it's amazing the stars that have come from that.
Big one for Country World, Carrie Underwood. Whoa!
Oh yeah, I know.
Carrie Underwood broke the mold for country artists to make it in the competition
Right.
now. So.
And The Voice. The Voice has been going on now for quite a few seasons. And Adam Levine was one of the original hosts. So was Blake Shelton. Coaches, actually. And so was Blake Shelton. Now, Blake Shelton is still there. I don't think he's ever going to leave because he loves the show. But this concept of this one was unique, where they had the 4 coaches sitting
Turn their backs
to the back to the stage. So they had to go by just the voice. They couldn't see them. Then, if they liked them, they would hit the button, and the chair would go around, and they would, and that.
And how the reaction? It's like, whoa, my God!
But they wouldn't, Then, when the song is done and they're done performing, whoever is turned around now get to compete to who gets this person, and that person gets to choose which coach.
Unless it's only one person, and then
now, if obviously if there's only one person turned around, that person gets the singer, and then they coach them through the whole way in their teams. And as they go through, they work with these people. Now, Blake Shelton, like I say, has won quite a few shows of this because he's so good at what he does. He obviously he has concentrated most on country, but he's done other people too. He's done rock and roll and you name it, he's done it, and they've won. But he goes through, he invests his time with them, and then when they're done, they're not done with the show or with him. He worked with them after the show was done, help them get going in their career. But it's fun watching. The best part though is watching these singers, and they're all from different areas. I'm trying to, like you might have a pop guy, you might have someone who is more into country, one does this, one does that, and they all compete. And the funny thing is, the other 3 really didn't know that much about the country music world until the show, and Blake Shelton has taught them about country music.
The fact the show where Blake Shelton met Gwen Stefani, now they're ready to get married.
And she didn't know who he was. And again, it's fun, but I like that one because they don't go by looks, and that's important. I'm glad they do it that way. And they've been going around for quite a while.
Plus, the crazy part is when they get to voting, and they get voting regions, then the fun begins, and these 2, sometimes up to 4, they're fighting with each other. They're like, pick me, hit me, me.
I know, it's a lot of fun. Anyhow, that's it for the shows segment.
Don't forget, we've got a cooking show.
Look at the time. We don't need to do cooking shows. We do that every day.
We'll do a cooking show for another day.
I think we've already discussed it in a previous show. So that leads us to part 3, which is story time. Which gives me a chance to stop talking for a few minutes and let him talk first.
Oh, yeah. And my story take me back 5 years ago, actually. 5 years ago in late September or October, I'm not sure when. But at the time that me and Ian went, finally completed the goal we wanted to do years ago. Several years ago, back when we were in high school, we had an idea we wanted to go to Niagara Falls together. But we couldn't do it. And long time going. And then we get the time when I start my fantasy all year. First year of being a fantasy all student. And then you get the opportunity from the fantasy student union, opportunity to do cool stuff, including trip. And I got this opportunity, a trip to go to Niagara Falls for only $20 for student, $25 for guest, include bus fare back and forth. And I got a chance to do it, and I wanted my friend Ian to come. And we did. She paid $25, I paid $20. and we both went to Niagara Falls through Fanshawe. And it was one of the coolest experiences. First time ever being in Niagara Falls. She's been there many times, but we got to get into some really cool stuff. See the falls itself. I got a chance to eat IHOP for the first time. But I got a chance to also go on the big Ferris wheel they have. Mm-hmm. Now, according to Ian, she had friends that she's had, and her mother, they're like, I was the first one to really enjoy it. It was so breathtaking. I know you're not really afraid of height, I'm not really afraid of height, but it's really nice. You're in a cat. You're not like you're in an actual dome. Safe here, okay? It's really nice sitting.
I don't think I would have a problem with that.
No, I don't think you would.
I don't think I would, no.
Because it's really nice.
I'm going to start rocking a lot, then I would.
But it's really amazing. Breathtaking. Both fall, American and the Canadian. The horse who falls, the bad one. And getting an opportunity to do cool stuff and to just be with a friend Eden like that in an area I've never been to. And it was a compliment because the goal we wanted to do, like I said, sit before we were in high school. This was a goal we wanted to do. Now we managed to complete that accomplishment. Made it possible. Love it. A great time. Never forget. You have a memory of your own. I think we're talking about a trip. You had a trip memory of your own.
Oh, yes. When I was in grade 8, I was going to Empress Public School. It's no longer Empress Public School. It's something else now. I have a way of doing that to schools. A lot of my schools that I went to have either changed names or changed languages or have just disappeared. I don't know. But anyway, we decided for history class we were going to go on a field trip to Quebec City. Now, I was looking forward to this trip. We went on the Greyhound, or school bus sort of thing. It wasn't the best bus in the world. Not for that kind of traveling. We left in the evening, and we basically went over here the night. So we got into Quebec City the next morning. But here's the catch. That meant sleeping on the bus. Not going to happen. You were sitting next to a person. You were crammed in there. So only one person, if you were lucky, got to sleep. The one usually on the but could lean against the wall. The rest of us were pretty well awake all night, myself included, which made a whole different kind of environment. So we were making this different stop. Now they had told us all. We made a stop, someplace to get a rest stop, to make sure that to get back on the bus quickly, because they didn't want to leave anybody behind.
Oh, no.
And they were very careful of that. So we stop off in Kingston, and we get off and we do our things and get a treat to eat, snack on. And we all get back on the bus, and fine. Now the teacher is there, and he's counting all the students. Okay, fine. All the students are here. We're good to go.
Oh,
unfortunately, he didn't count adults. So we go off. Next thing we know, the one teacher who was with us, he came out of the store at the
no.
saw our bus go bye-bye. He wasn't on the bus. So he had to I found a truck driver who was going to Quebec City and met us in there, so he drove with him and met us there. We were maybe an hour, maybe half hour or so later when we realized somebody's missing. Oh no. It was this teacher. He to this day has never lived that one down. Because we had forgot about him. Now, when we were in Quebec, the majority of everybody was in the one hotel across in one room. But there was six of us that they didn't have room for. So we were in a little hotel across the road. They can never do this now. By law, they would never be able to do this now. But back then, we were down in the basement part where they had some rooms. We were in a room. It had no windows. This is why they can't do that now, because obviously that's not safe. We had no windows. and we had the one bed in the little sectional cove where we got 3 steps in this little section where there was a single bed. Well, that's where I slept. The other two were in there. When the lights went off, it was pitch black. So they had to make sure I was in bed first so I could get there safely. And then you know, we had a seance in there one day because for the conditions for one, right? So we were doing this. Now we were told because we were in the French class and history class, we had to speak French because we were learning French. This didn't go well. You go into a restaurant and you try to order food in French, and
Oh
it
no.
would not. It didn't. We actually had a lot of times we did it. Most of us did it, but it was not easy. You end up pointing. We want this, but our hotels were just outside the old walls to old Quebec City, and then would go walk in there. We spent 2 days there. It was absolutely gorgeous, and it's fun for me because my family heritage comes from there, literally from there. One of the homes in old Quebec, I'm not sure, I think it's Lower Quebec, was made into a historical home because we were one of the first ones there. Pretty cool because my family came there in the 1600s, around 1640, about that. Um, but it's absolutely breathtaking. It's like going way back in time. But that was great. And of course then we headed home. On the way home, when we were going along, I think it was on the way there. I'm not sure. I can't remember there. There, way back. But we stopped off in Montreal in the evening and got to go on the bus and look out and see the lights of Montreal. Beautiful. But that was the trip, and we had so much fun. We were there because they were doing a reenactment of the Plains of Abraham. So we got up there, and if you had, I didn't have binoculars, but I had a camera, and it just turned it around and it worked the same way. So we got to see that, and it was pretty cool. And again, I can't honestly be sure with this, but it seemed to me I remember something about how my family's property was near there. I think I can't be sure 100% because it's been a long time since I've heard the story. Either way, my family was in that area, so it was pretty cool. But that was the trip we had in there. And like I say, to this day, that teacher has never lived it down. But that was a great time.
You know, kidding. I had, yeah. That was,
I'll tell you a story about another school trip I took another time.
yeah, the one in New York.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Well, I have my own. I have another trip of my own. About well, do that in our week.
Yes.
But that's it. We're gonna do our final thought. A lot of crazy stuff this past week. Tomorrow I get my vaccine. I can't wait. Look forward to it.
His first one. His dad got his this morning. And that. It's good to see the numbers are going down. Good to see the number of people getting the vaccines is going up, and I like that. Keep it up, people.
And
The sooner we
also,
get this done, the sooner we can get back to new normal, whatever that may be.
the United States, as I heard, their numbers are definitely going down. Haiti they have an average case, but down by 30%.
They're still having trouble right now finding getting people to ask to take the vaccine, thanks to other idiots who've been talking back.
Yeah, I call
But
right.
that's their problem. That's not ours. So Anyway, this should be a good week. If I don't get a chance to do my show today because it's getting on, I may not get to do it today, but I will do it. If I can't do it today, I will try to do it tomorrow. And of course we have our game night on a Thursday night to watch.
Don't miss that. That can be fun.
Please share this episode if you like it. Please
Like it,
like it. Please
share,
subscribe.
subscribe.
We're not twins. I know we're not. Keep talking to the twins. Uh, and uh, and please watch the show. We're not doing this just because we like our sound of our voices. Because I don't like mine. Would you stop doing that?
Why not?
And please watch and please pass it on. Well, we want viewers.
Yep.
I see
And
what you're doing. Get away from here.
well, thank you so much for
So
watching.
it's gonna hit the screen.
It's not going to. It can hit you. So we'll see you next week.
He may not be here. Don't, Robert.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Please take him.